guys, welcome to video 3 for pre-algebra. Today we're going to go back and do a little bit of a fractions review. I'm gonna break it down to the very basics of what fractions mean, because I know that fractions are a little scary for a lot of us and we haven't done them in a few weeks, and I'm not there to walk you through it, so I'm going to just jump all the way back to the beginning to refresh our minds, and then I'll give you a few problems to do, okay? So first of all, we need to think about the fraction and the parts of the fraction. So there are two parts to a fraction. The top number, which is the numerator, okay, and the bottom number, which is the denominator. Yes, you got it, I know you did. Okay, can you guys see that okay? So the numerator is how many pieces of the whole we're talking about, and the denominator is how many pieces total are in the whole, okay? So let's look at these two shapes. This is a whole square, okay? I want to talk about 1/4 of the square, okay? So that means that this is a whole, and my whole is going to have 4 pieces. Okay, so I'm going to cut it into 4 pieces. And I only want to talk about one piece out of the 4. Okay, so 1/4. Okay, it's that simple. That's all fractions are. They're just pieces of a whole. The top number tells us how many pieces we're talking about out of the whole. So in this case, 1. And the bottom number tells us how many pieces are in the whole. So in this case, 4. Okay, so let's go over to this one. Let's say that I want to talk about 3 out of 9. Okay, so I want 3/9. So that means that my whole is going to have 9 pieces, right? 1, 2, okay, so now my whole has 9 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if I'm talking about 3 of those pieces, that's just 1, 2, 3. Okay, I know this seems really simple, and it is. And we have to remember that really fractions are not scary, they're just this simple when we're moving on and doing different operations with them, okay? So that's why I want to bring it all the way back to here to remind our brains that fractions don't have to be scary, okay? So 3/9. There's 9 pieces in the whole. Our denominator tells us that. We're talking about 3 of those pieces, okay? 1, 2, 3. So let's look down at these two shapes. Okay, right now, I'm going to give you a minute to either think in your head or write down on a piece of paper how many pieces, or what the fraction is for this shape and what the fraction is for this shape, okay? So pause the video, write it down real quick, and then come back, okay? So I'm gonna move on as if everyone paused their video and wrote down their answers, because I wish you could tell me them. Okay, so let's look at this one. How many pieces are in the whole? Well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's our denominator, because there are 8 pieces total, and that's what our denominator tells us, the number of total pieces, okay? And how many pieces are we talking about? Well, how many pieces are shaded in? 1, 2, 3. 3/8. So we're talking about 3 out of the 8, so our fraction for this picture is 3/8. Okay? I feel like the green is a hard one to see. Not maybe the black one. There it is. Okay, so hopefully you wrote down 3/8 for that one. And we'll go over here to this one. What would my denominator be? My denominator, again, is how many pieces are in the whole total. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. Okay, that's how many pieces are there total. How many pieces are we talking about? How many are colored in? That's our numerator, right? How many we're talking about is our numerator. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5/10. And in this case, this is also 1/2, because there are 5 colored in and 5 not. So we're talking about 1/2 of the total number of pieces, okay? But we'll get into equivalent fractions in our video on Thursday, okay? So that's our basics for fractions. Now we're gonna run through a couple scenarios where we're talking about fractions of things in regard to real life events, okay? So basically fractions in context of real life. So I'm gonna erase these. Okay, so our first one, I like the black one, I think you can see it the best. All right, on the swim and dive team, there are 3 divers in 3rd grade, so I'm gonna write that down. 3 divers in 3rd grade. Okay, and there are a total of 8 divers on the team, okay? And the question is, what fraction of the dive team is in 3rd grade? Okay, so remember, our numerator tells us what number of the whole we're talking about, and our denominator tells us how many in the whole total. So in regard to this, how many divers are on the team is going to be our denominator. So we see that there are 8 divers on the team, right? The numerator is how many pieces of the whole we're talking about. So in this case, we're talking about 3rd graders, and there are 3 divers on the team that are in 3rd grade. So we're talking about 3/8 of the team. Okay? Makes sense, right? Again, I know this is pretty basic, and I'm just going through this so that you guys can get your fraction hat back on and get your brains more accustomed, and so that we can remember the fractions don't have to be scary, okay? Let's do another one. Miss Feldbauer ordered 5 cheese pizzas, gluten-free of course, and 1 pepperoni pizza. Clearly I was feeding a lot of people. So I ordered a total of 6 pizzas, 5 plus 1. Okay, so I ordered 5 cheese pizzas, 1 pepperoni pizza, so I have 6 pizzas total. The question is, what fraction of the pizzas are cheese? So remember, again, our denominator is the total number of pieces, or in this case, pizzas. So how many total pizzas do I have? I have 6, right? So that's my denominator. I ordered 5 cheese and 1 pepperoni. The question is, what fraction of the pizzas are cheese? So what's my numerator? The number of pieces or pizzas that we're talking about. In this case, cheese pizzas, so 5. So 5/6 of the pizzas are cheese. Okay, so this is exactly what your assignment for today is going to look like. It's going to give you a scenario with numbers. It's going to tell you how many in the whole. It's going to tell you information about pieces of the whole, and then ask you what fraction of the whole is this. Okay, exactly what we're doing right now. So I'm going to put that up for you. Okay, grab a piece of paper and a pencil. Pause the video so you can write this all down. Okay, I'm going to hold it nice and steady so you can read it. I'm not going to read through all of them for you because nobody wants to sit through that. And I think you could just pause this and copy it down. Okay? If you have questions, email me. Remember, this is the assignment that you show me on Zoom, or you take a picture and email it to me for your credit so that I can put your name in the drawing for the prizes on Friday. Okay, remember my office hours are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 o'clock in the morning for math questions and 12 noon for social time and anything else that you want to talk about in that section, okay? And I think that's all for you. Thanks, guys.